win this position?
Right now, I think we've got to make some serious changes. Obviously, the commission is going to change, but I think we need to do things with priorities being placed upon the residents that live here as opposed to the people that make money. My experience has been is that many of the prior commissioners, when they come and they say, oh, I'm anti-growth, we're not going to go any more high-rise development, we're not going to kowtow to the developers. And then they get on the commission, and then they start taking their money, and that's exactly what they do. And the residents resent that. I'm running a campaign where I'm not taking money from anyone. And then it's kind of an unheard of sort of thing, but if I get elected, I want to do it my way. I'm not taking any money from developers, from lobbyists, from lawyers, actually no one. I'm just totally self-financing the campaign.
How much?
$10,000 each for this election. And if I'm lucky enough to make a runoff, if there's another election, then I'll spend another $10,000. And you look at what my opponents are spending, I mean, they're 7 or 8 times that. But I think I can compete. If Cindi Hutchinson taught us one thing, you can take on somebody who's been a long-standing politician here by getting out and walking neighborhoods and getting to know the people in the community and standing for something. And that's what I'm trying to do.
As you walk these neighborhoods, that's what you've been doing for quite a while now. What are people telling you? Are there 1 or 2 main things that they're really concerned about in the city?
Well, they're really concerned about now that we're going to be raising their taxes again because of the shortfalls. And they're very concerned about that. And one of the things I've pledged to do, at least for the first 2 years in office, I will not raise their taxes. I will not raise their fees. We will balance this budget by cutting away things that I think are unnecessary, by cutting government waste. We may have to roll back some of the commitments we've made in terms of salaries. I pledged from the minute I walk in the door to turn back $10,000 of the $30,000 salary because I think you've got to lead by example to show that you're willing to do that. I think by my not taking money from any of these developers and folks here, and we all know, look, development is kind of slack right now, but I think we need people who don't have ties to the banks, to the developers, to the lobbyists, the old-time Fort Lauderdale. I think we need some. I've lived here for 20 years, but I'm not part of what I'll call the Las Olas crowd where, I get around in those circles. I'm more of a neighborhood, get out and do my little league kind of a guy, as opposed to somebody who sits on a lot of boards. And that's why I think that separates me from at least one of the other opponents in this race.
When you talk about I won't raise taxes or I won't raise fees, what about, some of the fees that the city raises, like water, sewer, they're in bond covenants. The city seems to be obligated to do that to meet, because they're building all this infrastructure. Are these campaign promises that you could really meet? Have you looked into this?
Yes, I think so. I think I can. Now that means we're going to have to cut the budget in a lot of ways, and we may have to lay off some folks. That's the reality. State government is already doing that because they don't have the reserves that we have. We may have to look into furloughs and laying off people. It's just going to be a reality. But I don't think it's fair to put on the residents' backs more taxes or higher fees if there's any way possible that we can avoid it. And I think it is possible. It's going to mean hurt. It's going to mean some people are going to be upset. But we've got a balance here. We've only got so much money. The budget has risen drastically in the last few years, and we've got to stop that because we know we're not going to have the economic growth and the property values to give us the tax money to continue to do that.
When you talk about cuts, have you thought about, would you target Parks and Rec first because it's less essential than, police and fire, or do you have a different view of where would you start?
My view is we've all got to share a little bit, and we may lose a few police officers and a few firemen. We need parks and recreation. If you don't have a place for kids to play, they're going to get in trouble, and we need more police.
And you have 4 kids, right?
I have 4 kids, and I think we're all going to have to share in it. We're all going to have to get in this boat and row together. But raising taxes is not the answer. We need more people to move here and to do business here. And by raising taxes, we're going to stop both of that.
Let's talk a little bit about code enforcement. We've heard quite a bit about that today. You want to pursue aggressive code enforcement. One of the areas we've